Morning Ireland, 8 minutes to 8, and Brian Finn has Friday's business news.
Anya, thank you. Faulty goods and services were the main reason for contacting the Competition and Consumer Protection Commission in the first half of this year. Nearly 20,000 queries were submitted by consumers in the 6-month period. I've been talking to Doireann Sweeney, Head of Corporate Communications with the Commission. I started by asking her if it was a typical pattern of complaints to the CCPC.
Yeah, faulty goods would usually be high up there in the context we get from consumers. However, I suppose this year what we saw changing is the sectors. So last year, unsurprisingly, we received a huge amount of contacts about travel and holidays. This year it was AV and electronic goods.
And those AV, audiovisual and electronic goods, what type of goods are you talking about there?
You talk about computers or sound systems, anything that would fall into that general category.
So what are consumers seeking when they contact the Commission, and what remedies can the service offer?
Well, consumers contact us for a lot of different things, and I suppose the interesting part of this report is it gives us specific insights about what they are. So for faulty goods, for example, we had a lot of consumers contacting us to ask whether am I entitled to a refund or a repair, or what are my options, or I'm not happy with what the business is offering me, what's my steps there? And I suppose the main step we would say there is having put it in complaint, put it in writing. If you're still not happy, following the small claims procedure would be one of your steps. So another one, interestingly, under faulty goods is consumers who have an expired guarantee or warranty and wondering, do they have rights? And I suppose this is one of the areas we see probably the most amount of confusion. Irrespective of whether there's a guarantee or a warranty, the business that you bought from, they have obligations to you, and if there's a problem, if it's faulty, they have to resolve the problem. This year we also saw a 16% increase in buying online, and just consumers going, what do I do? What are my rights are? And particularly with Brexit, there were a lot of delays with deliveries. So they were getting in contact with us to find out, am I entitled to get a refund? I've been waiting this amount of time. Or else that they bought something, and this included myself, I bought something, and then 4 weeks later I got an invoice for customs and VAT from another company. You know, should I have been told beforehand, and that kind of information. So our role is to help consumers take steps in addressing it. If it's something that falls in consumer protection law, we could then consider in terms of enforcement action.
And that VAT issue is one that may have caught out a lot of consumers over the last while. Is that something that you found?
We were pleasantly surprised, and I think there was a good lead into it actually happening. So we think consumers were a bit more aware at the time. So we saw about a 3% increase in the number of consumers contacted us by purchase from the UK. So considering what happened this year, it's not significantly huge. But interestingly enough, our web stats are at 36,000 visits to our Brexit hub. So what we figured out was that people were maybe doing their checks or maybe reading about it and a bit more cautious. But certainly at the start of the year, we would have seen an increase of consumers contacting us, asking us, you know, were they entitled to expect those charges up front? And then I suppose there was a little bit of confusion of what was an Irish registered or an EU registered business. It became very apparent very quickly where, you know, you may have thought you were buying from an EU business, but actually they were based in the UK, and those initially, but they all seem to level out pretty quickly, and I think consumers are in a stronger position at the moment.
Doireann Sweeney, and anyone wishing to get in contact with the Commission can do so via their helpline, which is 01 402 5555, and that number can be found on the website ccpc.ie, where there's lots of useful information for consumers. More business news at 8:30. Gavin.